This is The Art of Wrestling with professional wrestler Colt Cabana.
All right, how you guys doing? Come on in, sit down, relax. You're about to listen to The Art of Wrestling, a professional wrestling podcast. It's a life podcast. It's a personal journal. It's an entryway into the minds, the souls, the hearts, and the lives of the people involved in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host. My name is Colt Cabana. Hello. I am a podcaster. I'm an entertainer. I'm old as fuck. I'm a Chicagoan. Most importantly, though, I am a professional wrestler, and we are not sitting here live in my studio in Chicago, Illinois, but basically we are sitting here live in my studio. We are at Bric-a-Brac Records, 3156 West Diversey Road in Logan Square, Chicago, Illinois, in front of a live studio audience. Before we go any further, this is a fan support and listener support podcast supported by people just like you. Give it to you free of charge every single Thursday. ColtCabana.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, wherever you get your podcasts from. A couple great ways that you can support, rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. Tell a friend. Look next to the person next to you and say, hey, well, you guys would all know about the show, wouldn't you? Best way to support, though, ColtMerch.com, DigitalColt.com, t-shirts, buttons, pictures, posters, DVDs. I got lapel yap pins. I got buttons. And then afterwards, probably if you hang out over here, I will have ColtMerch.doorway to a basement with Magnum P.I. just staring at me. I could do this. I could just do this show looking at Magnum. He should be my guest. There had to have been some weird crossover with Magnum and wrestling in the 80s, right? Can anyone... No, there must have been. Dan says no, absolutely not, and he officially knows. Okay. I got a list of things I do before we get some guests on the show. It's a list of material. Okay, I wrote down, I wrestled last night in Clive, Iowa, and thank you very much. And right, today, for those listening at home, I don't know when this will come out, but today is my birthday, and thank you. And I'm 37 years old. Singing happy birthday would just take up too much time in this podcast. We don't have enough time. I appreciate it. And I'm my neck hurts a lot from a move last night. And then you sink it in, I'm 37, oh, maybe this is where it all slows down. This is where it all starts to hurt. But on the show last night was Billy Gunn, who's 55 years old and looks better than every single fucking person on the show. And Joey Ryan flipped him with his dick. So I can only assume that if my neck hurts, I can only imagine how Billy Gunn's hand feels right now from that giant wiener of Joey Ryan. A couple weeks ago, my parents drove me to a show. I was in Arizona, and I got dropped off. Yeah, I'm 37 years old. I got dropped off at the wrestling show by my mom, and I thought that was a little much. Today, I took the bus to here, and that really summed up my career. And yeah, because somebody tweeted me, they were like, The Rock, Stone Cold, I'm doing a paper, and my influences are The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Colt Cabana, and I was like, two are millionaires, and one took the bus to a thing. And people, I do okay for myself, but I understand why maybe people think that I do have a lot of money, because I looked up on, there's a website, celebrityworth.com or whatever, and I'm no celebrity, but it says I'm worth $3 million. Right. And, yeah, I wish, right? That'd be amazing. But, people who take that seriously don't do the research that I went and then did, because then I looked up every single other wrestler, and that's their go-to celebrity, I was just looking at all the WCW guys, and they're like, Prince Iaukea, worth $3 million. When in that run did Prince Iaukea? Hell of a merch tab. King Kong Bundy, 50 grand. Star of WrestleMania 2, King Kong Bundy, 50 grand. The guy who took the bus to his show, $3 million. And then this one was fun for me, Jimmy Hart. Jimmy Hart's worth $5 million. I know for a fact he lives in a hotel on Hogan's Beach in Clearwater, Florida. I don't know if he must be hoarding that $5 million in that megaphone somewhere. Or he has a $5 million megaphone, which would be a great investment. I think I would be in for that. Okay. Am I missing anything? Should we get some guests on here? Yeah, nice. All right, let's welcome first to my nook. He is one of Chicago's very funniest stand-up comedians, if not the funniest stand-up comedian. He's also a partner in crime and the mean gene to AAW apparently now. Please welcome Marty DeRosa.
What's up, bud?
So I think we can keep these microphones a little further away.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
I want to, because I'm wearing a suit, and this neighborhood's very cool. And I just wanted to walk around. Anyone looked at me and like, I'm doing a wrestling show later, so fuck off. Don't judge me, okay?
Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about how I should probably start dressing like an adult now that I'm 37. But then I realized where I was.
Yeah. This looks just like Colt's apartment, except it's like wrestling stuff instead of records and action figures.
Yeah, and for the I guess for the listeners at home, Bric-a-Brac Records, 3156 North, West Diversity Road. I had that right. Yeah, it's basically Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
Anything you find in here? Did you get a chance to look around?
A little bit, yeah. They had the Hercules LJN, which I was very happy with because his posability made for good matches. Unlike the ravishing Rick Rude LJN, where if I ever find the guy who designed it, I'll murder him if he's not already dead, because that was the worst figure of all time.
I was always a little weirded out by the Hercules LJN because it was like right on the teeter-totter of when I started watching wrestling, and my Hercules...
The teeter-totter? I don't know if that's... For a minute, I go, yeah, I'll go with that, but then I'm like, the teeter-totter?
Who's with me?
I don't think that's... All right, the teeter-totter? Okay.
What's the right verb?
I don't know, like the cusp or the... Yeah. All right, the teeter-totter. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one, the teeter-totter.
I think I nailed it.
Okay. All right. Edit that out.
So, Hercules and I were playing on a teeter-totter.
Yeah.
Hey, Cole, do you think I'll ever beat Hulk Hogan? Oh, I thought he was... Man, that Saturday Night's Main Event?
Always. Hogan was up, I'm like, new champ. New champ.
But the Hercules doll has like a big Jufro, and my Hercules that I watched when I was teeter-tottering in wrestling, he had like a short and tight perm going on.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
And so it kind of weirded me out.
Yeah, and he had his like Hercules gladiator gear on, which I loved.
Well, he didn't wear that when I was watching.
Yeah, I think he wore it like when I rented WrestleMania 1 or something, and I was like, oh, that's why. So
it all makes sense.
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense.
If King Kong Bundy knew when he tried to trick you into tying his shoes, that's a thing, right? He made you he tricked you into trying to tie his shoes.
No. This I could full circle this.
Okay.
So
teeter-totter this.
I'll teeter-totter.
All right, he's gonna teeter-totter this. Everybody, slip and slide this. All right, here we go.
Rock and Randy Ricci, who gave me my very first break, man, maybe that was talking about, I think on this podcast, an old school trick that old veterans would make you tie up your shoes to show dominance.
They would say, hey, kid, can you tie my shoe? My back's hurt or something.
Right, I'd be like, okay.
Okay.
But they're really just lazy and want to, like, you know about the submissive world.
Yeah. Right, it's a power move, and also like, hey,
I can only assume it was invented by Fabulous Moolah.
Right. And then Bundy's a big fat man, and he's like, well, I hate tying my shoes.
Yeah.
I'll just have these new guys.
Not to me, but I did wrestle King Kong Bundy in my very third match ever. And I remember this is a saying in old school wrestling is the money's in the boot. Now, I didn't learn this phrase until years later. Larry Sweeney, rest in peace, would always say that. But it was crazy. When I learned the phrase, I rewound my memory back to my third match ever when I remember King Kong Bundy putting his money in the boot. And now we learned it was $50,000.
Right?
And it's all he had.
I just watched a shoot interview with him, and he got $50,000 for WrestleMania 2. Yeah.
That's it?
That's it. But he's like, hey, better than nothing.
Yeah. Hogan's like, all I got was $2.8 million.
Yeah, no. Hogan got, and then he said that Hogan got a check for $500,000, and he was like, Vince, this is a little light, brother. And then Vince called his accountant, and he said, cut Hulk another check for $500,000. So he got $1 million. And I remember at the Gathering of the Juggalos when we were backstage, they had wrestling at the Gathering of the Juggalos, which is amazing. And when they gave the money to, it might have been Tommy Rich or one of those old guys, and they shoved it in their boot. And I was like, it's in the boot. It's in the boot. So
they know, those guys. They know. Here's what you know, Marty. What we didn't think you would know years ago, but apparently you knew. Mm-hmm. You were on the Jinder Mahal train.
Long time ago. Oh, my God.
What? This is all you fair weather,
right? Jinder Mahalics.
I was going to say. Yeah. All of you who jumped on the Jinder Mahal Milwaukee 56th Avenue bus.
Yeah.
that I took.
Yeah. We all in Chicago know the real six corners are Jinder's lats, his traps, and his pecs. That's the real six corners here in Chicago. When he beats Randy Orton and becomes the champion. Okay, I'm like the guy who was like, hey, we should have Trump run. That would be fun, right? And then he actually won, and he was like, oh, no. Like, that's how I feel about Jinder, being like, Jinder's going to be the man. And then now he might be, because of India or whatever, a new channel, and I'm like, oh, no. So I don't know.
Because of India?
No, these goddamn Indians. No, because they're going to start, I don't know. Meltzer said something about how they're going to go to a channel in India and they need a champion, whatever. Anyway. All right, now I have to leave Logan Square because I sounded slightly racist, but, okay.
What are you liking about wrestling these days? No, I'm sorry. I'll take that back.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck what you like about wrestling.
Okay. Yeah.
What are you hating about wrestling these days?
Oh my God. Well, my new thing is I've stopped hate listening to Russo clips on YouTube, or I'm done, or Cornette, or Bruce Pritchard. I'm done with these guys because they're all negative. At Mania, I was at Wally Mania, and Bruce Pritchard's like, oh, Dave Meltzer, well, yeah, we're cool. And Justin Roberts did the ring announcing. Then on his show the next week, he's like, fuck them both. I'm like, then fuck you. Negative shit, fuck off. That's a weird thing to say, fuck off, negative shit. But I don't care. I know they're all trying to just get clicks. Ooh, hear what they said about this person. Not interested anymore. Give me Colt Cabana. Give me Meltzer. Give me the good guys. That's what I like. I like the nice guys.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's what I like. Enough of the fucking. They did this. Yeah, well, some people like that. Also, I get the old guys because people used to think it was real. It must have been the best.
Wait, what are you saying?
You know what I mean? I'm so sorry. You know what I mean? If people are like, oh my God, of course you're mad that it's not as cool as it used to be or whatever. Shit changes.
All right.
That's my 2 cents. My new YouTube channel coming out soon. My 2 cents.
Who in past wrestling would finish Wasn't there remember that guy at Global? He had a desk and he'd say something.
Joe Pedicino.
Well, did he have a tagline?
Pedicino was just and that's my 2 cents. Believe it or not, I'm not wearing pants. I think that's what he would say. But yeah, they would do that.
You need a catchphrase.
I know.
Is it my 2 cents?
And that's my 2 cents. Yeah.
All right.
What's the muffler hold that Sammy Callahan does?
The muffler hold.
Okay, and I'm Marty DeRosa, and I'm not going to pay a lot for that muffler hold.
I would love it if tonight during the match he puts it on and everybody just starts saying, do you know the muffler hold, the muffler hold, the muffler hold, do you know the muffler hold that Sammy Callahan does? Hey! Okay. And then, so you're Mean Gene AAW.
Yeah.
And that was what they said. Danny Daniels said, I need a Mean Gene.
Yes.
And is that a compliment or is that...
It's a compliment, yeah. I love it.
Same haircut.
Same haircut. I was thinking of growing it out and then just shaving what's left here for shows. I thought that would be maybe a little too over the top. And then I got to interview Mean Gene at WrestleCon. And when me and Colt do live unprofessional wrestling shows, we play so many Mean Gene clips. He's the patron saint of wrestling's just funniest unintentional bloopers. And I asked him about all of them, and he was just like, "Oh yes, I remember that one like it was yesterday."
Oh man.
The sign, he's just like, "Teamsters, you get what you pay for." I'm like, the sign fell, and you said, "Fuck it." He goes, "Well, you know, these fucking Teamsters, they're supposed to do their job, and the shit's falling, so yeah, I said, fuck it." And I think that Jesse and Vince are gonna, cover me when they get back on. And Jesse just goes, "Geez, you hear what he said, McMahon?" And then the smoking, put out that cigarette. He says, "I'm doing my promo, someone's smoking a goddamn cigarettes. If I can't have a cigarette, no one can have a cigarette. No cigarettes.
If I can't do a line of coke, no one can do a line of coke.
Yeah.
Marty, where are you at on the internet?
Podcast, Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling on iTunes, and at Marty DeRosa at Twitter. Mm-hmm. And if you're in Chicago, Comedians You Should Know every Wednesday at Timothy O'Toole's.
Marty, will you stick around? And,
oh, my God, I would love to.
Will you be the third mic for me?
I would love to.
Will you be my Lord Alfred Hayes?
I would love to.
All right.
Double Dragon.
Let's see. All right, let's welcome our next guest to the Nook. He is New York's, what's the opposite of finest?
Worst.
New York's shittiest.
Did you plan to do a podcast behind starring Capital Combat RoboCop? Sting Savior RoboCop?
Please welcome Eddie Kingston.
Eddie! Ooh, denied the high five.
Happy birthday!
Thank you, buddy. You look gruffy today, bro.
I'm lazy. I didn't feel like getting a haircut. Being honest, just didn't want to go.
I appreciate your honesty. You're wearing a New York Yankees hat today.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you guys got to see my hat. It's Boone the Bounty Hunter.
Wow. Someone got a free hat.
Have you? I wrestled on a show with John Morrison last night. I'll take that back, kayfabe. I wrestled on a show with Boone the Bounty Hunter last night.
Oh, okay.
He wrestled as Boone the Bounty Hunter.
How was that?
He was real into being Boone the Bounty Hunter.
A little bit too much, right?
Yeah. Have you ever been anything else besides Eddie Kingston?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Not one time?
No, never.
Sexually?
Sexually,
Did you try anything else?
Sexually, I've been different, yeah.
Okay.
A different person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston since day one.
Since day one. A1 from day one.
What does that mean? Wait, you were A1, the wrestler from TNA?
Oh, I remember him. Yeah, little Triple H.
I'm not.
He was like he played Triple H in the.
Yeah. He was on a show for Border City Wrestling the other day, and he wasn't. He was like A.5.
Oh.
He looked great.
Wow, everyone got
great.
him.
Looks good.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
but he's not carrying 300 pounds of muscle anymore.
On a 5'8" frame or
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Speaking of 300 pounds of muscle, Eddie Kingston's here.
234.
Yeah?
Yeah, bro.
Very
you
nice.
remember me at 290.
Were you at 290?
Yeah, back in the day.
How does one get from 290 to 234?
Go to Japan, and before you go to Japan, get on the gas and lose weight.
The honesty of Eddie Kingston.
Like we don't like we don't know this. Like guys, like what we're.
No, it's Subway sandwiches
Yeah.
That's what it is.
and Quest bars.
Subway sandwiches. Yeah, that's what we're gonna call the gas from now on. Subway sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone keeps on giving me real cards to Subway. It's like, guys, I need a needle and a vial, please.
I need some Sexton on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what. Every time I stuck the needle in my ass and did it, I just said I gotta go to the gym.
Yeah, otherwise it's a waste of
I just
investment,
waste the
you know?
money.
Yeah.
Waste the money.
Or you get the Iron Sheik
And I
steroid
didn't
ab
want
belly.
to. This was like what 2011, and I was like, I don't want to embarrass myself in Japan, so just did it.
Are
and that
you
was
on a
it.
regimen steroid diet?
No. That was the only time I did it. Was right before I went.
The only time.
Only time.
Well, what was your decision not to do that anymore?
The last day. The last day I was on it, I got into a fight with my cousin, And I guess you could
Your
call
dealer, I could assume.
I guess you could call it roid rage. I don't know. I'm an angry person anyways, but it was heightened. And I was outside my cousin's house with a baseball bat and breaking in his car windows, and I was like, maybe
Not like that.
like this.
Yeah.
Did it anyway, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't do this again.
Cut to a scene of Eddie taping up the windows. I'm so sorry. I'm on steroids. It's not the real thing.
Forgive me. First off, it was the real me. I don't
Yeah.
need steroids for that. Cabana knows that for years.
Did you say I don't eat steroids?
No, I don't need steroids to be angry like that. It just, I just said I have no problem being honest about it because, like, there's no wellness policy on the indies.
Fuck yeah!
You know what I mean? And it's, you could kind of, I did it once, 2011, whatever, big deal. But, like, you can see guys nowadays and be like, oh, yeah. That guy's on.
What else you dabbled in, buddy? You don't have to say.
Yeah. I'm trying to think
That pause is like, oh,
I'm
shit.
trying to think what won't get me in trouble. I drink a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like to drink. So,
What's your drink of choice?
all depends on my mood. But
Depends on my steroids for that day.
yeah. What I can stack on top of the test. No, I like Red Bull and vodka, but Captain Morgan and ginger ale's another one I like. Cap and ginger. J-Mo and ginger, yeah, there's my man.
Have you tried Malort?
No. No, is that bad?
So do you want to explain what Malort is, Marty?
You remember the canvases for old like Ian Rotten shows? Yeah.
So it's
like,
filled with blood.
Yeah, blood.
And what was that?
and
What's that thing?
Staph infection.
There you go,
stuff
staph.
Ringworm.
Yeah.
Ringworm. There were many days we were all just like.
So if you put that into a shot and then took it,
That's
Malort.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Put a shot glass down, take that old canvas, and just
bring it out. Yeah. After a like a deathmatch tournament or something like that, and then just
with a dash of Tabasco.
yeah.
Tabasco.
That's what that is.
And nowadays, off the gas, looking good in Impact Wrestling.
That's the best segue I've ever
Yeah,
heard
go
on a
right.
wrestling podcast ever.
Off the gas.
Off the gas
Off
in
the
Impact
gas.
Wrestling.
Nailing it.
Man, oh man.
You survived the Dixie Carter switchover, or did you not? Are you still there?
That's a sex
No, I'm
with the
still
Dixie
there.
Carter
I'm still-
switchover, by the way. That's a,
I know it sounded really dirty.
yeah.
The old Dixie
How- no,
Carter
how's-
switch
so-
over. The old Dixie. That's called the Westie where I come from. And it's not like
Don
anything
West, yeah.
if you just look straight ahead and use your
Marty.
thumb a lot.
That Don West joke did not get enough
It's
love in
okay.
this room.
It's okay. It'll,
No,
live,
yeah,
it'll live on in the internet.
It literally deserved a standing applause, and
Oh,
one
God.
guy, I think, smirked at it.
Well, I
And
should have
good for
followed
that
up
guy.
with like a, what if I told you right now I could make you come real hard? And then I had to follow up. Act now and I'll make you come even harder. Call in the next 5 minutes, I'll put my finger in your butt. Or something like that.
You ever had that done to you?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, okay. Just
Of
wondered.
course.
I was just taking a poll.
Not by Don West.
No. Taking a poll.
Not,
So
Are we getting off the rails?
no,
ahead,
get
go
back
ahead,
on.
go ahead.
we're getting way off the teeter-totter.
yeah.
No, but Eddie, you're a guy who just for years and years on the indie scene, and like, I think that validation of, I don't know what we're all looking for as indie wrestlers, but the idea of like, hey, we were good enough to be on TV, or we are good enough to be on TV, and that's kind of come to fruition for you. So it's gonna be nice, right?
It definitely is nice. I'm still on the contract there, and did an angle. I'm off TV right now. I don't know what's going on for the next one, but still in the contract. And it is validating, even having the WWE tryout, just even doing the tryout, I was like, oh, wow. Wow, okay, I'm here. I guess I did do something right or knew someone right, to get me in there. And this, the only thing I can really say about TV wrestling and independent wrestling, it's just a totally different world. And I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's something so different than independent wrestling.
Did you feel unprepared doing some TV stuff due to 12 years of independent wrestling?
15. 15 years. Come on.
I meant like leading up to it, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. 15 years.
I felt unprepared for the behind the scenes stuff, the backstage stuff that you know what I'm talking about right off the bat. All the other stuff like the in the ring stuff is definitely different than the independents, and that's fine because that's what I grew up on. We all grew up on TV wrestling. We didn't grow up on right away independent wrestling. So the wrestling stuff in the ring was pretty easy to get used to. It's just all the other stuff. But that's part of the business. It's not like I'm breaking some big news.
That's part of the game.
Yes, the game.
And how you play it.
I've heard that. I've heard that. Yeah. Here we go. He loves it. There he goes. Wish we had a camera on that guy.
Eddie, where are you at on the internet, friend?
Oh, I'm done? Guess so, Marty. Guess I wasn't entertaining enough. Yeah. Talk about the gas a little more, maybe I can stay. Anyway. So what you do is you take a heating pad.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am at...
Do you know right away, or are you just like, I'm stronger already?
Oh, it was, coursing.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm getting on.
Ultimate
That's
Warrior.
it. I'm getting on. I'm doing it.
Coursing
I'm doing
through
it.
my veins. No, not at all. I didn't know anything was going on. I'm pretty dumb.
Except you were down $300.
Pretty broke now. At Kingston Impact 7, I had to change it to be corporate, I guess. And also not curse a lot on it anymore.
Yeah.
In other words, don't put a lot of Tupac lyrics that I like up anymore. So
I like the idea of like him justifying it. Like the TNA office is mad at him. It's just like, fuck this company, fuck everybody. They're like, what are you doing? They're like, oh, that's a Tupac song. That's all right. I'm just quoting my hero.
Yeah, fuck the people who own this. Yeah. No, but give it up for Cabana, yo.
Okay, well, listen. I appreciate it.
I just want to say, for you telling me all the years and then getting on TV, you were one of the very few guys who actually. You were
Never
honest.
made it? Is that what
No, never and never would. No, one of the few guys that always stuck by me. You were always one of the few. You were always honest with me. Sometimes to the point where I was like, you know what? Fuck Cabana. What a dick. But you were always honest and always straightforward, and that just popped in my head now when we're talking about TV wrestling and all that jazz. You were always this. So I'll say thank you for that,
You
for
got
always
it,
being
friend.
honest and straightforward with me, at least. Anyway, I don't know about everyone else.
I like to think so.
Well, I've seen you yell at people, and it's. You think I'm intimidating?
It's pretty great. People don't know this, but it's pretty great.
Yeah, pretty scary. It's pretty scary.
Awesome. Eddie Kingston, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right, coming to the half-ass stage here. Next is one half of a very popular podcast, a Chicago comediette. Is that right? Is that right? Please welcome Sarah Shockey.
Oh, hello. Hello.
Oh, man.
I think it's comedian.
Comedian.
Idiot. What a sweet little, she's trying, but she's just a girl after all those titties get in the way of her joke. God bless her. She wears a bra.
Do you, as a girl, when you're watching these girl wrestlers, is that something that pops in your head?
You know what I think about a lot is I bet a lot of them are on their period, and God bless them, they're working so much harder. The guys don't know how much care we have to put into not making a bloody scene wherever we go. Hi.
Do you?
I'm wrestling sweetheart.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
In your head, are you like, oh, if I was a woman wrestler, I'd just wait for that time of the month and we do this sweet thing where, like, someone gets me right there?
Jeez.
No, I don't think so. I don't have a wrestler's mind or a pervert's mind.
I know one of those are true. You choose whichever one you want.
Yeah, America's choice.
Sarah, you're kind of new to loving wrestling, but you've dove very deep.
Yeah, it's only been like 3.5 years, and I just kept creeping deeper and deeper into the scene in little ways, and then all of a sudden I'm here.
And what's the idea of like wrestling isn't in your life, and then how are you like, how hard is it? It's got to be so hard to figure out all these fucking people and all these promotions?
The thing that's the hardest for me is that everybody gets so excited about the past that they have and how much wrestling means to them. And I want to know it all immediately and share it all immediately. So when somebody like drops a reference on me that I don't know and they're so excited about it, there's that weird thing of like, I want to know all of this, but I know there's like years that I missed out on. So I'll go back and quietly Wikipedia or I'll ask Marty. Yeah. Marty knows everything about everything that's ever happened in wrestling.
And what's the weirdest thing that you look back and you're like, whoa, wrestling was weird as shit?
Well, I just watched Nitro for the first time, and it was so weird.
She had to watch a year 2000 Nitro for Keeping It 2000 podcast.
Yeah, that podcast comes out this week. You can hear me just be dazed about why it happened.
Well, give me a snippet. What blew your mind?
Oh, man.
Prince IK is worth $3 million.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He seemed to have an air of money. Yeah.
Kept on losing to Super Dandy, but was that a real person?
El Dandy.
You know, I like those the Nitro parties. I was trying to talk to you about.
Yeah, with Ricky Rackman.
Did you ever have a Nitro party?
I mean, I had unofficial Nitro Raw parties.
Hold on. By a round of applause, did anybody here have a Nitro party and like send it into WCW? No. Damn it.
Weren't as big of a deal as they'd want you to think back then.
Because I think there was one time where you could did they say you could win money?
They were doing all kinds of tricks and like dances and what was his name again?
Ricky Rackman.
He made a roofie joke that was just not founded or okay, and then even he was kind of like, "Okay, I'm gonna get out of the scene."
And what do you? I mean, you're in deep. You watch it all. What's your watching regimen now?
Raw and SmackDown, and if something sparks from like Between the Sheets or some other podcast, you'll usually show me that. I don't know,
New
NXT,
Japan, right?
Watching New Japan. Yeah, just watching whatever's out on the internet. People will send me videos all the time, and I'll watch those and just get some random stuff here and there. I watch, if I miss Raw or SmackDown, I have to watch Hulu in a secret break room in my office. So it's my responsibility now on a podcast. You should know about that.
I'm well aware.
All the responsibilities.
I'll send her homework assignments, or I'll show her all these videos. And I went over the whole Macho Man and Elizabeth thing, and how how when then she came out after Mania, after the Warrior match and everything.
Hold on, she came out?
Well, she came out of the crowd.
Oh,
literal cabana here. And Macho's like, I understand, live your life. No. Everyone always thought my brother Lanny was gay. Turns out he's a big ladies man.
Also, it was kind of allegedly, not allegedly, but that he would trap her in a closet during the shows.
So I explained all this to her, and then the wedding and everything, and then Sarah's like, oh. And there's like, whatever happened to Elizabeth? And I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, well, and she's like, I know she died, but how? And then I told her.
I was like, I bet it was a car accident and it wasn't anything bad or something.
You thought it was love.
She thought Macho was by her side in the hospital.
Holding her hand, dropping a limp, beautiful wrist, and then a rose petal. No, that wasn't what happened, you guys. I just found out.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You were there. You showed me that Von Erichs documentary, and I cried for 15 minutes afterward.
Everyone dies here.
Yeah.
That's
Well, there's a lot of crying.
That one lives. Everyone else
catch up on. Yeah.
Or Beyond the Mat, or not Beyond the Mat, Wrestling with Shadows. I was watching that with her, and again, it's like, oh, he's dead. Yeah, none of this. And then with Helen.
Oh, Helen's like, I hate wrestling. I wish nobody got into it. None of the girls married wrestlers. And I was like, Helen, it's not going to get better from here. My friend.
And you guys have started doing. You guys do characters on your shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we have characters on our show.
Man, kayfabe. Who's some of the fun characters that you like that you know?
What do I like doing? Inviting on Kyle the choir boy lately. That's been our new favorite little boy that sings wrestler theme songs.
Or chants.
Or chants.
Yeah.
Oh, Zack Sabre Jr. Oh, Zack Sabre Jr. He gets real fancy at the end of it. Oh, man. He has a hot mom that we haven't. She hasn't been on the show yet, but she's always trying to date Marty.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Speaking of singing, you have brought us a ukulele today.
Yeah, I brought my famous ukulele that accompanied you at your storytelling show.
Yeah, I did a storytelling show here.
Last October.
Mm-hmm.
And
so if I'll ask you this. You have an out if you need it.
Mm-hmm.
A, is there anything that you have prepared or know how to prepare? So, do you want me to do the second?
Yeah, do the second thing where you try to give me something because I brought it and
Okay.
I'm okay at it.
Okay, Marty, keep this party going. I
All
have to
right.
go grab something real quick.
All right, so let's see. As Sarah tunes up here, Colt goes to his bag of tricks. It's Colt Cabana's birthday, and this is cool that we're all here right now. This feels very... Oh, okay.
So we're here at Bric-a-Brac Records.
You have to be like, this is mine. I brought this.
It is. I did, and it's the fucking best record of all time, which you guys don't have. This is Terry Funk.
Yeah.
Great Texan from Japan. He was on my podcast, and he talked. I brought this up, and he couldn't believe that I had heard about it. And then I told him I owned it. He's like, oh, no. And they were just like, he gave me they were like, the Japanese people just gave me a shitload of money, and I was just like, all right, I'll come up with some songs. So, Sarah, you have to now improvise.
You want samples? Sampies?
One of these songs. So,
Okay.
Do you want me to give you the list of side A
yeah,
and side
by
B?
like pick a few and then have them decide by round of applause what they want to hear.
Okay. So, side A is Great Texan, Touch Your Heart, We Like to Rock and Change Your Mind. Side B is Barbara Streisand's Nose. Rapungi. Great Texan, and We Hate School. Okay, I think side B is the way to go.
Yeah.
So, Barbara Streisand's Nose.
It was gonna win if Rapungi wasn't on there.
We Hate School. Rapungi. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Sarah
and this is what-
Shockey's
his song, his version, right?
Sure. Right?
Yeah.
Sarah Shockey's thought of Rapungi
Okay.
from Terry Funk's I can't read Japanese. 19-something
Yeah.
Great Texans record.
If you wanna go out east, you wanna see what's going over there. Gotta get gassed up and head over the water. You're going to Rapungi, baby. Everybody's gonna grab on my junk, 'cause I'm Terry Funk. That was a short track, but it really got the job done for the people of Japan, which is what's key here.
And then can you sing a little? My ego is coming in. Can you sing my theme song, please?
Yeah. I'll make up the chords.
Good.
Hey, you guys want to help me out a
Okay,
little?
it goes boom, boom. Straight.
I don't two chords.
Okay.
Boom, boom. Colt Cabana. Boom, boom. Colt Cabana. Boom, boom. Colt Cabana. Cabana. Hey, everybody. Well, here he comes. It's Colt Cabana. He's number one.
Sarah Shockey, ladies and gentlemen.
Happy birthday, Colt.
Thank you. Oh, before you leave, where you at on the internet?
At Sarah Joy Shockey. It's just spelled Sarah Joy's Hockey. And at Marty Sarah Pod. That's a podcast I do. It drops every Thursday.
That's the plug I'm looking for. Sarah Shockey, everybody.
Thank you.
Good job.
All right, up next is my favorite New Yorker,
Oh.
as opposed to the piece of shit Eddie Kingston. Just kidding. Please welcome Bobby Fish up to the stage.
Vibes all around.
Yeah, these are the two different sides of New York.
What a tan you have.
I know, isn't it fantastic?
Holy shit.
Whoa.
Thank you.
Where were you?
Okay, come on.
That's
where's
good.
where's the compliment?
No, it's great. Because I was looking, I'm
Okay.
like, oh, and it's not orange. Like, it's
Right.
real. That's a real tan.
More.
You were in the sun.
More.
You weren't sprayed on.
I didn't spray
No.
this one. This
That's
one's
real?
Not sprayed. This is real. Well, kind of real. I mean, what's real?
I didn't think we were going to get this deep.
That's heavy.
What's real?
This is deep.
Yeah.
With those shaman beads you
Yeah, I
have
feel like
on.
you've been through some shit because you're tan. You got these Matt Sydal beads. Like,
This is a life lived.
yeah.
Right. That's proof.
Where were you?
At the airport.
I was at the Sun Factory on Damon.
That's where I got these beads and this tan.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, everything.
I don't. Why
Look
don't
at
I know?
all these people.
Are you mesmerized by them?
I am mesmerized.
What's your thought process? Take us through it.
There's a lot of them, and that guy looks kind of like Ricochet.
Right? Like old school long-haired Ricochet?
Yeah, kind of. Like a very patriotic Ricochet back there.
Sir, do you have a Twitter that's only putting yourself over and saying how amazing you are? So it's not Ricochet. It's not
him.
Ricochet. He is good.
False alarm.
How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you, gentlemen?
Good.
Excellent.
When we talk about we're here in a record store. Any thoughts with you? Listen, I like your.
Record store?
This is a record store. There's records all around. This is Bric-a-Brac
I
Records.
was thinking maybe comic book or...
There's comic book themed stuff, but this is a record store. I mean, we could talk about how this is a record store for the next 25 minutes if you want.
Record store.
Yeah.
This is a record store?
Fucking hell. You have a favorite wrestling song? Or musician? Jimmy Hart doesn't count? Yes, he does. He's the best. He's worth $5 million.
I don't know. No, I don't think I do. I mean, I love the Pile Driver album.
Okay.
I do not.
Nick, do you have the Pile Driver album here?
Somebody want to cue that up?
Yeah, girls and cars, please.
This is a fucking record store.
I did buy the Adrian Street record here at
That is here.
Bric-a-Brac.
That's here. Yeah, that's here.
Did you know Adrian Street had a record?
I did not. What is your favorite selection off of said album?
Oh, I don't have a record player.
Well, then that was a bait and switch.
No, I just bought it. Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Fair enough.
What are your thoughts here in Chicago? Any good, fun Chicago memories, Bobby?
Well,
As he
that
almost
one
dies right off the
almost fell
stage?
down. Chicago's always a good wrestling town. Enjoy being in Chicago.
You're nailing this podcast.
I know.
Fish.
I am.
You are nailing it.
I am all over it. That time at the Rosemont Horizon. That's Chicago, right?
Right?
Yep.
That was my favorite time at that record store, the Rosemont Horizon.
Now he thinks everything's a record store.
That was a record store? I'm just going to do that for the next 10 minutes with you. That was a record store. It's higher. How high can we get? Oh, Bobby, I feel you're real high right now.
Hey, you.
Unfortunately, I'm not.
Watch this segue. There's a lot of action figures here. You have an action figure out now.
You have an action
But
figure?
I don't know where, though.
Dude, I saw a photo of it.
Right. I don't think it actually exists. I think there's only photos of this action figure, and then they destroyed it. Because I see pictures.
So it's probably worth so much fucking
It's
money.
gotta be. It's gotta be at least 10, 20
$50,000
bucks.
Bundy Bunny.
Yeah.
Of what money?
King Kong Bundy's worth $50,000.
Yeah.
He has his own money?
Yeah, and a couple action figures. Bundy
Man,
Bucks. They're
he's
called
like a-
Bundy Bucks.
It's like a country.
Yeah,
He's got his own.
he lives in unincorporated New Jersey area, and he's his own money and currency, and everyone wears black singlets. Knee pads optional. I prefer the knee pads, but you know.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like
Do you think
it.
they captured your essence with the action figure?
I think they did. I think they did a hell of a job.
How's the tan
Be
on that
nice
action
if I could
figure?
see it. The tan? Could have been better. Could have been better. But then again, I mean, it's difficult to pull this off.
It's like what's real, you know?
That's what I'm saying. We've now come full circle.
Yeah. I've never came in a circle before.
I wish I could
Yeah.
say the same.
Colt regrets not being in a fraternity every day of his life.
Frankly, that's the only way I come.
I'm telling you, he's going on these weird Matt Sydal vacations. They'll just sit in a circle and... Oh, where are you from? Oh, nice. Oh, cool. Yeah. I'm a wrestler. I know. Sounds crazy, right? I have an action figure. This is a weird world. You teach yoga? Awesome.
I did spend some time with Seidel recently, so you're not too far
Yeah.
off. I don't know.
Yeah, you guys were. What was you were down in Florida? Did you have family in Florida? Was that right?
No, I was hanging out with a buddy of mine who's in St. Pete, and Matt's in Clearwater. So,
That's what, like, I spent like one day. I went and hung out with Matt actually in St. because I was down there in St. Pete after WrestleCon, and like I got one day of vacation. I don't know if you find that hard of like on the schedule, like the idea of like, did you take off wrestling day? Well, you've been taking.
you hung out with him exactly one day after I did,
Right?
Because I remember him telling me that he was going to hang out with you.
And he was like, "Colt, come into the circle that we're doing."
Eat this ayahuasca and use Subway cookie.
I said to him as he was leaving, I said, make sure you get Colt to come in the circle.
Do you find it like having off time? Well, you were signed with Ring of Honor for so long, and those guys like don't do as much independent dates. So all of a sudden you find yourself with some off time, right?
Yeah, you definitely have an abbreviated schedule. Like if I just did my taxes, and if I look at the amount of days that I worked last year, it's not a lot.
And do you like that or dislike that?
I don't know. I think the grass is always greener because now that I'm back doing independence again, like I'm enjoying this. But when I was doing that, I was like, well, but what's going on the independents? And I'm sure I'll get my fill of this after a little while and be ready to have some guaranteed income. I don't know.
And when was the last time you did New Japan?
Shit.
Has it been a while?
Yeah.
'Cause you were there a while.
November, maybe?
What's the scoop on that?
I don't know. There's some fuckery afoot, I believe. I believe there was some fuckery afoot, alleged at least.
You too rough on Ishii, and he was like, "Get this guy out of here."
Exactly.
Yeah.
How'd you know?
I've listened to Meltzer. I know everything.
Okay. Apparently,
Can I ask you? This is a
someone's
question.
well studied.
I have a question about Japanese wrestling. So when you guys are in there and it's quiet and it's like Gallows and Anderson, I think, set the tone of being like motherfucker, like hitting guys and stuff.
Well, that was Tama Tonga, right?
I was going to say, Tongaloa set a new standard.
And is there like, hey man, you didn't really cuss out there. Were you nervous or what's up? Like, hey, new guy over here didn't say fuck at all. What a nerd. Like, is there that pressure of like, you really got to fill in those moments?
I will say this. There was a time when I was working for Noah that Kobashi pulled me aside. So, and at this time, and you can attest to this, at this time, like, you spent a fair amount of time just getting the shit beat out of you, at least when I was there. And any match with Kobashi, you were going to be chopped the hell out of. And after the match, he said to me, Bobby, why you, every time, chop you, son of a bitch. Then me, chop again, you, fuck. Chop again, shit. Because it fucking hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I was really being beaten on by Kobashi, I would think that some profanity would find its way out.
Sure.
So,
Well, we've all seen that video, that Kensuke video where he gets chopped 8,000 times. Fuck, 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 fuck.
I've not seen this video.
You haven't seen the back and
No.
forth?
Oh.
Holy.
Of Kensuke Kobashi?
Yeah. No, I don't know if his name's Kensuke Kobashi.
No, there is a guy named Kensuke Kobashi.
Oh, no, Kobashi versus Kensuke. Buddha Hall? Buddha Hall? Budokan. They chop each other for 9 minutes.
It's crazy.
straight.
Yeah, there's just
Never
a whole
seen
YouTube
this.
video of just that.
I didn't.
I'd assume maybe you were there. Because
I
you were
might
probably
have
in the
been.
promotion then.
I might have been.
You were just in the
I
back
don't
coming in a
remember.
circle.
Right. Me and Seidel were busy.
You and Kenta and Marufuji were like,
What are some curse words you'd like wrestlers to yell out that we haven't heard in a while? I'm up for a dick licker, maybe like that. That's a fun one.
there's nothing better than a son of a fuck.
Son of a fuck. Nice.
I remember I had this conversation with Dave Prazak, who was doing commentary for IWA Mid-South. And I think like together in a car ride, we came up that his catchphrase, because like Joey Styles had "Oh my God," and some other ones, and we came up with Dave Prazak's would just be "fuck,"
I like it. Yeah.
which you can get away on IWA Mid-South
Sure.
VHS tapes.
VHS, yeah, sure.
I don't know why somebody hasn't come out with something like that on Raw. Why in the motherfuck?
Right.
I could see that.
I can see David Otunga
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe for New Japan, Yoshitatsu could come up with a catchphrase. He's strong on commentary. He's very strong.
Yeah. Yeah. When you give Tommy Dreamer at Barely Legal a run for his money at commentary, you're doing a pretty bang-up job.
We all have our wheelhouse,
Yeah.
and you do yourself a favor by staying in it, and that's his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby. So before I ask you where you're at on the internet, but you're back with a nice, strong, independent line. Liner?
Yeah.
Calendar?
Schedule?
Schedule. There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm back out there on the indies. Enjoying myself.
Got some fun stuff coming up?
Yeah. Tonight.
Well, all right. All right, where are you at on the internet, bud?
You porn mostly.
Yeah.
Favorite category? We ask the hard questions here.
Babysitter. Decent.
Decent.
No.
Decent.
I'm a amateur college party guy
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. I strictly do verified amateurs on Pornhub. Strictly verified amateurs. If you don't have that blue check mark, get the fuck out of here. I'm not watching you learn how to do porn. All right. You got the check mark, you got me.
Has the blue check mark made it to the porn sites now?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
You're in deep, Marty. You're in deep.
It's
Because remember, like
I'm
when
not
people
paying close enough
when
attention.
and I
people
bet they
on Twitter-
like wrestlers and stuff bitch about I haven't got a fucking blue check mark
That's what
yet.
I'm saying, yeah.
Who do I got to blow to get a blue check mark? And some guy's like, actually,
Mine starts here.
yeah.
Bobby, where are you at on the internet? Besides that,
The Bobby Fish on Twitter and I think Instagram. Right? Yes.
Yeah. That's
you
the law.
asking me?
That's the law.
Yes.
Bobby Fish, everybody.
Abby! Thanks, bud.
Thanks, buddy. And last but not least, I have asked this young man to come.
All right, let's clean this up here. This podcast's already been verified on Pornhub. Like, this is a good one. This is a good podcast. You're gonna like this one.
I asked him to come with a list.
Okay.
And hopefully he has brought it.
All right.
And he will share with us his thoughts or his
Wrestling fans seem to
findings.
love lists.
Yeah, so please welcome Chuck Taylor up here.
Look at that stash.
Whoa! What a surprise!
I did this for you, Colt.
Did you really?
Yeah, I thought you'd like it.
I don't know how I feel about this mustache.
This says Logan Square all over it. Yeah.
You fit in.
Yeah.
So what I said, hey, Chuck, you've been on a million times already.
Yeah.
Can you come with something?
Yeah.
Can you bring the fire, right?
And I didn't have any fire, but I have this stupid list of wrestler names that I've made up.
So this is explain a little more for me.
So I have a group chat with who's in it? It's me, Orange Cassidy, Trent Beretta, Jigsaw, and Hot Sauce Tracy Williams, which is a name I actually came up with from this list. And we
I
basically
would love
just,
if there was some like
some
and
rando, yeah.
Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah.
and so
Nikolai always doing weird emojis. It's so. Sorry,
no man, you Nikolai Volkov? Who is it?
Nikolai what?
Volkov.
Yeah, what'd I say?
Sorry, I don't know. I haven't had to talk to anyone today, and so like I'm not used to it yet. You know how when you warm up to having to talk? Okay, this is good for a podcast. But so we make up terrible wrestler names, and I did a thing in Chikara recently where I lost my name, and so I came up with a different name for every show. And some of them were like, what did I have? One of them was Scoot Tatum. This is Howie DeWitt. Raw Dog Rick Beanbag. Was one of them. That was my favorite. But yeah, so I got a big long list of real offensive names here now that I look at it.
So I say we just spit them out, and Marty,
Sure.
if we get if anything comes to mind,
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
Sure, all
Who
right.
this man is.
And again, what's the end goal for this list? Like, eventually, you want to be this person, or you want to name a trainee this name?
Yeah, like I want all of these to be on shows.
Okay.
Absolutely. Let's see. I'll start at the bottom. These are ones I came up with
Today.
Yeah. Pud Nelson. He's probably like a Breakfast Club themed character. I
Pud
think.
Nelson. Yeah, I feel like that was like a jobber in Global back in the day.
Cuba Gooding III. Summer Scarborough. I thought it was a good one. Oh, Trace Williams came up with this one. It's no gimmicks needed. Steve the Samurai.
Love it.
There's the Cucumber, because he's just cool. Buster Norberg. Oh, do you want to talk about the Cucumber?
Well, one of the first promos I ever did, and this was going to be a catchphrase that did not catch on, was "I'm Colt Cabana and I'm so cool I can freeze vodka."
Whoa, no.
I hate you.
Ew, everyone's leaving bric-a-brac right now in a single file line going, nope, nope, nope.
That was 1999
Oh,
college
no.
Colt Cabana.
Were you wearing the gold chain at the time?
Gold chain, backwards, upside down visor. I can
Bleach blonde hair. I saw that picture the other day. Wow, man. There's Power Cat Jeff Winslow. The Human Thermometer Pat Joplin. I don't know what that means. Frank Grabass Hernandez.
Oh, man. That guy definitely wrestled on, like, WCW Saturday Night back in the...
New in town Luke Wilcox. Danny Double Dip Dawkins. Adrian Dill Picklesby. Oh, the Midnight Oil Barney Stamp. I love him.
Picklesby.
Picklesby.
What did he wear? What would he wear?
Green.
Just green.
Yeah, just greener than hell. Oh, no, I can't say that one out loud. There was one called The Job, Tiff Sanfors, but that one's actually been taken. Bug Nevins. I use that one, too. Bareback Benny Fig. This is the only one that's ever been cast. So it's Adam Cole. I think when he goes to NXT eventually, he'll be Cool Dad Don Crenshaw. And he's like the local dad who's like, he's like at the party. He's like, here, kids, have a sip of beer. Don't tell your mom. And but every now and then he's got to come out and he comes to the ring in his his cargo shorts. And he's like, all right, kids, keep it down. I got to work in the morning.
And your vision is Adam.
That's Adam Cole. Yeah.
Cool dad.
Yeah.
Does Cool Dad have long hair?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in a ponytail. You're like, he lets it out, when they go to the lake in the summer. I've thought about this character a lot. There was another one that I cast, which was Space Homie Mike Smith. And he's from space.
Clearly.
And he has catchphrases, and I already have entrance music for him. I can't say them out loud what his catchphrases are, but it's pretty sweet.
What makes somebody a space homie?
He has I have picture his entrance. So he comes down from the ceiling like he's been lowered from a light. And then his music hits, and it's obviously a hip-hop song. And he starts, he has little aliens that are his valets, and he starts smacking them on the butt like this. Boom, 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 boom. And then he dances to the ring. I have his music. It's really cool. Pro Bowler Benji Ball Return Roberts. That's his whole name.
Wait, so he has a nickname up front and a nickname in the middle?
Yeah. Yeah, he has the mullet of nicknames. I like that. A little up front and a whole lot in the back. That's great.
Crooked Dick Johnny Hogg. Oh, Dick the Hammer Dick. That was one of my favorite ones. A lot of these involve dicks. All Sack Drew Gulak. I don't even know why that's on there. He's all sack.
That's why they're not letting him compete on 205 Live. He's got all that extra weight down there. He's all sack.
You're in 206 Live.
Hand job Dave Henderson. Henderson, not Anderson.
But you got to say it twice, like Mr. Kennedy, to really let it know. Henderson.
6 dicks deep, David O'Neill. I don't even know what that means. Solar system specialist Steve Baker. Long haul Lenny Broadway. He's involved. Jeff the Tit Baker.
All right, give us the big one for the finale. Oh,
no.
Or do you have like 95 more?
Tag teams?
Oh, I did it.
Where's my tag team section? Hold on.
I had a. Oh no, I can't say that. Lemuel Little Baby Dong Denver. These are all about dicks.
What's his first name?
Lemuel. That's a real name. I know a guy.
No, you don't.
Yes.
Lemuel?
Yeah.
Like Samuel, but Limney?
Yeah, just like that. Oh, Mick the Kraken McCracken. I like it.
We taking it home on Mick the Kraken McCracken?
I don't know, man. You didn't tell me I had to have a big closer.
Well,
Hardwood Rich Mahogany.
There you go.
hey.
I like that Chuck's the guy that NXT, if they can't think of a name for somebody, and they're like, hey, Chuck, we heard
Hit
you
me
on
up.
Art of Wrestling. Can we pick your brain a little bit here? Here's what we're dealing with. And then they send you some
This is
photos
what I
of the
do
guys.
with my life. We just sit around and make up terrible names for wrestlers.
I
That's
don't
why I landed on Chuck Taylor, apparently. Horrible.
I like that you're the incubator for wrestling.
That's the incubator. Yeah. The incubator, Steve McGillicuddy.
I feel like it's just like he finds like a fun like nickname, and then it's just a racist name followed by that guy who just clearly sounds racist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the original idea for Space Homie was not Homie, I'll tell you that. I just think it's funny, like a crazy racist name, and then his name is Mike Smith. Like, that's really funny to me. Apparently, me Homie. Then how you want to end that? Nope.
Okay, so is the goal to... I think I'd watch a YouTube show of you just listing off names.
Well, for real, actually, I'm a trainer at the Chikara School, and this is gonna sound like an asshole thing to say, but like we basically made a show that was like that. What's the WWE thing when they did the Fandango did the thing? John Cena.
He was wearing the shirt over there. Yeah. What was the
Southpaw
wrestling?
Like, I shot a pilot, basically like with the same idea. It was us using all these names, and then it was our students wrestling and stuff. And it sucked. That's why I didn't put it out. But so pretty sure they stole my idea.
Definitely still.
Yeah. Cena was hiding in the closet like, I'm stealing this shit.
Oh, that's when my anti-Semitic babyface character was a part of that. That was
Anti-Semitic babyface character.
Yeah.
And his name is?
what was it? That was I think that was Bareback Benny Fig.
Wait, but that does... But just in your head.
Yeah.
He's also an anti-Semitic.
Well, no, I cut a promo, and they actually have the promo on tape. But he was like, I think I said this last time I was on your show. He's like, I do it all because he was fiery Southern babyface, of course. And he'd come out and be like, I do it for all my fans. I love all my fans, each and every single one of them, unless you're Jewish. All right. And then he went on. But like,
where you at on the internet, bud?
no, don't get me. Leave me alone.
What's your Twitter?
I don't.
You don't care.
No, man.
Sexy Chucky T on Twitter.
It's horrible.
I follow him. He just fights with Gargano and Trent the whole time.
That is
the only reason I
that is
still
my
have a Twitter.
favorite. Just to watch Johnny Gargano tweets and then responses by Chuck is the
He
best.
tweets like such a dickhead. I hate his dumb face.
He went to the Ricochet School of Twitter.
Oh God, another nightmare person.
I see a new show, you two, just keeping wrestling Twitter honest. Cabana and Taylor, you guys are cops.
Until Colt starts tweeting about fucking seafood
Jimmy
orders.
C.
He's getting really
man,
sold out.
He really. It was like a second after. It must have been a minute, like an hour before. Chris Hero tweets about like NXT is the greatest thing ever. Everyone works so hard, and I replied with a gif of a woman puking out of a car. And then an hour later, I'm like, "Come get Jimmy Seafood. It's wonderful." Fucking call out Johnson over here.
It's going on the list.
Yeah.
Call out Johnson.
Call out Steve Johnson.
All right, call out Johnson, everybody.
Job, bud.
All right, that is the show for this week. Let's do some thank yous. Let's thank everybody that came up here. Marty DeRosa, Eddie Kingston, Sarah Shockey, Bobby Fish, and Chuck Call Out Johnson Taylor. Let's give a huge thank you to Bric-a-Brac Records for holding this. If you're in Chicago, check it out for a very eclectic record and
Memorabilia.
memorabilia. I was going to say fuckery, but I think...
Sure. Yeah, buy something on the way out.
Yeah. And of course, AAW, who's going to happen tonight. Let's thank them for allowing us to do this with their talent. Before we finish this up, let's get into some plugs and...
Upcoming events.